Hey everybody, let's go over setting up a template and how to do that in AutoCAD. Once you set up a template, and I always save it as just template inches or template metric if that's what I need to do, then once I do that, I use that template every time to start my drawing, just according to which one I need. What I want you to do is just follow along on these steps. They're pretty simple. So we come in, we say start drawing. It automatically defaults, because we told them that we're in the United States, it automatically defaults to inches, which is great. First thing we can do, we can go ahead and change our units while we're thinking about it. So I type in units, decimal inches, which is what we will use. If we were using a lot of fractions and stuff, if we were doing houses, we could change that. We could use architectural to do feet and inches. You do have to put a foot symbol between them to separate them if you do that. Fractional is okay, but you don't get to use feet if you do that, just inches. So decimal or architectural are the two that we use mainly. Of course, we'll be using decimal in this class. We are going to knock it down to 2 decimal places, but when you read a drawing, make sure you know if it says 0.63, there's a good chance that whoever made that drawing accidentally let the computer round it up to 0.63. It should be 0.62 for 5/8 of an inch. So this is correct. We're good. Our units to scale inserted contents an inch, that's good. Everything's great for what we need. So I'm going to hit OK. All right, the next thing we're going to do is, of course, when y'all come in, you're going to have your command line here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to drop it down here. Make sure we've got 2 lines showing. Change your pick box from 3 to 5. Remember, that's just done by typing in pick. Once you get that far, pick box will pop up. You can click on it, change the value to 5 and enter, and it's good to go. You should already have your right mouse click customization set up. So the other things that we're going to do now is set up our actual template. So we're going to go into layer properties. And remember, a layer is basically a piece of transparent paper or piece of tracing paper, and every layer is going to have a different line type on it or a different function. Layer 0 automatically comes up. It's always going to be there. So we're going to go into a new layer. We're going to say object. And it's going to be 1 continuous. Our line weight is going to be 0.7. Okay, so we've got that. And we hit OK. So now we've got that done. I'm going to slide this over so we can see this just a little bit better. There we go. Get it over here out of the way. Our second layer is going to be hidden. We've gone through this before in some other videos, but I want you to see it again. Line weight here is going to be 0.5 millimeters. Make sure you get 0.5 and not 0.05. Another one, center. Now the only thing is, if you notice, I didn't change my line type. I'm going to go back in and change that right now. Line weight on these, we're going to hit default. Okay, because we're going to set the other things to default as well. Remember our line types, we need to change them. So if we click on continuous outside of hidden, it comes up continuous. What we want to do is we want to load a line type. We're going to scroll down. We're going to get hidden to, because it's half the distance. We're also going to get center to. So if I hold down my control key and hit center to, I've got them both at one time. Now I can change that hidden layer to a hidden line type, click on my continuous side of center, change it to my center line type, and we're good to go there. Now our other layers that we're going to need dimensioning. So dimensions, change it to a continuous line type and leave it at default. We'll add one more and call it text. Continuous, default, that's all good there. So this is enough to get us started. Now I usually do add in a border layer just to have if I want to draw a piece of paper or whatever. You don't have to do that, but I do that myself. So I'm going to put border in. Okay, so border, continuous. This time we're going to go up. We're going to go back to a 0.7 and say OK. So there, now we've got our layers set up. So once we do this one time, we're good to go. All right, so look now when I hit the drop down, there they are. The layer that we draw in the most is object because of object lines. So usually I'll leave object here on top, whichever one I click on will go to the top, and that's the one I'm working in. Okay, so I'll usually leave object here. Now once I do that, notice it still says drawing 1 up here. I'm going to go to File, Save As. I'm going to drop this, and you're going to have a folder wherever you want to put it. I'm going to put it on my desktop just so I can find it real easy. But I'm going to call this now template and do a dash and do inches. You could call it template decimal if that's what you want, but I like template inches. That way everybody's got the same thing. So now I'm going to hit save. Notice it changes to template inches. So now when I start a drawing, when I get ready to begin it, I open up my template, this template. The very first thing I do once I open it up, I hit File, Save As, wherever I'm saving to, and I'm going to save it as the drawing name. So guide block or spacer or whatever the case may be, and hit Save. That way it'll change automatically, and it puts this template back in a folder and keeps it clean. I always keep 2 of these somewhere in case I do accidentally mess up and hit Save instead of Save As. Okay, so that's how you set up that template. It's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. So you say, what if I wanted to set up a metric one? Well, I'm going to close that out. I've got it set up. So now, instead of going to just start drawing, I'm going to drop down. I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to find AutoCAD, and what I'm looking for now is ISO. Okay, so AutoCAD ISO.dwt. Click on that. It's going to come up. It's going to look exactly the same. The only difference is now it's in metric. So now I'm going to go through the same process of setting up my layers. Everything else, if you notice, my command line's in the right place, my pick box is right, my right mouse click is correct. The only thing I'm going to do now is set up my layers again. I'm going to save this one as template metric or template millimeters. I usually say template metric to keep it simple. And then I've got them both saved. That's really all you have to do. So it's pretty straightforward. Okay? So if you ever get into a drawing that you know it's in metric, open up your metric template. If anybody has any questions, be sure and let me know. Send me a text, send me an email, whatever you need to do, and we'll get you covered and get you taken care of. If nobody has anything else, then have a great day, and I'll